Welcome back to Luke's Properties YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I got my first rent-to-rent deal. Let's get into it. Okay, so 2017 is when I discovered rent-to-rent. Now, prior to me discovering rent-to-rent, I always thought you needed hundreds of thousands of pounds to get started in property. And I wasn't in that position. I always knew that I wanted to get into property. But before I learned about rent-to-rent, I always thought I'd need at least £100,000 to get started in property. Once I learned about rent-to-rent, it was like a light bulb moment for me. It was actually a good friend of mine who told me about rent-to-rent. And as soon as he told me, I was fascinated. And this was at the back end of 2017. So for the last few months of 2017, all I did was read books about rent-to-rent, watch YouTube videos about rent-to-rent, and listen to podcasts. I became obsessed with it. So much so that by February 2018, I decided to start my own rent-to-rent company. The reason I was so fascinated with it was because I always thought I'd never have enough capital to buy my first house. And I thought the only way you could make money was from owning property. Little did I know, you could make money from controlling properties, which involved a far less outlay of capital. Rather than putting down a 25% deposit and paying solicitor fees and stamp duty and paying for a mortgage broker, with rent-to-rent, all you had to do was put down 2 months' rent and pay for some furniture to improve the perceived value. Then you could re-rent the property out for a premium price. As I said, this was fascinating to me, and for the first time in my life, I had a clear path to getting into property. It was crystal clear for me. That's why I grabbed the opportunity with both hands and decided to incorporate my company in February 2018. Now, the following few months after February 2018, all I did was call estate agents, call landlords, and go on viewings. And at the time, I was looking in London, I was looking in areas like Tooting, Clapham, Streatham, all these types of areas. I was going on viewings, speaking with landlords. I wasn't making any offers at this point. I was just trying to soak up as much information as possible. I was learning from estate agents, learning from landlords, trying to understand how my service could fit in the marketplace. Around 2 months into this process, I started offering on properties. And time again, I got told no, my offer wasn't accepted. The estate agent chose a different person to go with, and I had to face rejection over and over again. But I didn't let that stop me. I used to ask a lot of questions. I wanted to understand why they didn't go with me. I saw these 3 months as a learning process, and I learned so much in those 3 months. I viewed so many properties, spoke to so many landlords and agents, and got rejected over and over again. But all that did was build my resilience, teach me valuable lessons, and ultimately made me a better businessman. So I'd never take that back. I wouldn't try and rush the process. I always advise my students to go out and view as many properties as possible, go and speak to as many people as possible, estate agents, landlords, anyone to do with property. Tell them exactly what it is that you do. Tell them the service that you provide, the type of properties that you're looking for, the type of landlords that you're looking for. You never know where a deal could come from. The more people you tell what you do, the higher the chances of you getting a deal. So I spent around 3 months in the discovery stage, learning about rent-to-rent. I then incorporated my company, and I spent another 3 months doing the practical. So going on viewings, speaking with agents, speaking with landlords, and putting offers in. Then on the 28th of April, I saw an advert on Rightmove for a 6-bedroom HMO. And in the description, it actually said, open to company lets. And I'd never seen this before. For the 3 months prior to this, I had never seen a description on Rightmove that clearly stated that they were open to company lets. So this excited me straight away, and I got my dad to go and view it as I was in London and he lives in Wales. He viewed it, I called him after, the viewing went well, the property matched our criteria, and the following day I put an offer in. This all happened quite quickly, and by the end of the following day, the landlord had agreed to my offer, and a few days after that, I was collecting the keys to my first rent-to-rent property. I drove down from London to Wales, and I collected the keys from the estate agent. My dad and my girlfriend at the time went to the property, and we started getting it ready and preparing it for viewings, and hopefully some new tenants. While we were cleaning the property and preparing it, I got a message from the estate agent, a good friend of mine now, explaining that a gentleman had walked into their letting agency asking to rent the same property that we had just picked up the keys for. And this particular gentleman was the exact type of tenant that we would be targeting. And because of my relationship with the estate agent, because we were always speaking on WhatsApp, and I had spent the last 3 months building that relationship and rapport, he thought of me. And he messaged me the number of this gentleman who wanted to rent this property. I then gave him a call and asked him straight up, if we furnish this property, set all the bills up in our name, and then offer it to him and his colleagues for a premium price, would he be interested? And he said yes straight away. It turned out that him and his colleagues had been staying in a hotel half a mile down the road for the last 3 to 4 months, paying around £4,000 to £5,000 a month to accommodate 6 engineers. Now, these were a group of shipping engineers, and they worked on the Newport docks, which were half a mile away from this property. So they were a perfect fit and the perfect type of tenant for us. So we agreed the deal over the phone. We got the place ready over the weekend, and by Monday, the engineers turned up. We checked them in. We even picked some of them up from the hotel and then dropped them to the house. They got settled and moved in, and we charged them 2 months rent. So I had paid out 2 months rent to the estate agent, and I had paid for some furniture, which in total cost me around £4,000. I made that payment on the Friday, and by Monday I had around £5,200 back in my account from the engineers. And this was the exact moment, I'll never forget it, that I realised that rent to rent was real. Now, from the money the engineers were paying me, I would deduct the landlord's rent that I had guaranteed to them, which was around £1,200 at the time. I'd then deduct the running costs, so gas, electric, water, Wi-Fi, etc., which would cost me around £500 to £600 per month. And then I'd be left with around £900 per month in profit. So to invest £4,000 to make back £900 every single month in profit, which works out to be around £11,000 in profit every year, is a fantastic investment by anyone's standards. And I was over the moon with my first rent to rent deal. It couldn't have gone any better. But to get to this stage, I had to do all of this work, which I didn't get paid for. I didn't make any money for the first 6 months from when I first discovered rent to rent, to learning about rent to rent, to then incorporating my rent to rent business. I then spent a further 3 months trying to get my first deal. So that's driving up and down to Wales every weekend. That's going on viewing, spending my own money, sometimes paying for a hotel, over and over again, almost like a delusional optimist without making any money. I was actually losing money, hemorrhaging money to be fair. Every week, every day, making phone calls, getting told no, walking into estate agents, getting rejected. I had to do 6 months of free work where I didn't get paid to eventually get my first rent to rent deal. So here's the actual work that I had to do before I got to this stage. I made around 200 to 300 phone calls over a 3 to 4 month period, which worked out to be around 20 phone calls per week. I would phone all the estate agents in my investment area, even if there wasn't a property listed that I was interested in. I would speak to them on the phone, tell them what it is that I do, explain to them the type of properties that I was looking for, explain how our service would work and how we could work together, how I could add value to them. And I would do this over and over again. As soon as 9 o'clock hit every single morning, I'd make those phone calls. And all this was doing was building relationships, building momentum, and building that rapport with the estate agents, because let's face it, estate agents have around 80% of the property stock. So you want to make them your friends, not your enemies. So I made around 200 to 300 phone calls. I also phoned around 50 to 70 landlords. So I would find landlords' contact information on websites like Gumtree, like Facebook, like OpenRent and SpareRoom. And I would call them, speak to them, offer my services, find out if they were interested in my offer, and just have a conversation with them. Again, building rapport, building relationships. I also sent out 400 letters directly to HMO landlords in my investment area. This was another method of marketing, and it's quite a personal touch to write to a landlord rather than just phone them or email them. Some landlords like to receive letters, and it shows that you've made the effort to market your services to them. I also walked in to around 30 different estate agents and again explained what it is that I do, discussed the type of properties that I would like to rent from them, explained the value in my service and how I could help them. But ultimately, I was just building relationships and building a rapport. I was trying to be likable rather than seeming like competition. And building a relationship is so much easier face to face rather than doing it on the phone or over email or even by sending letters. There's something about a face-to-face interaction that builds trust far quicker. Rather than just being a voice on the phone, you're there in person, offering your services and showing people that you're real and that you're here to stay. I also put up around 10 guaranteed rent boards all around my investment area. I would drive around Newport and I would see where all the other estate agents were putting their advertising boards, and I would just put mine up in between theirs. The landlords in those areas would drive around, they'd see my guaranteed rent boards, they'd then receive a letter from me, they might then receive a phone call from me, I'd be emailing them, I'd be speaking to the estate agents, trying to arrange viewings. The estate agents would then speak with the landlords and let them know that I was interested. And all this is doing is building trust, because the more the landlords can see my brand all over my investment area, the more they're going to start to trust me. and the more they're going to want to work with me. So I put these boards up all over my investment area. Some of them got ripped down, some of them got stolen, but I still believe today that some of them got me some business. I also sent around 200 emails over that period, whether that be through Rightmove or on OpenRent or Gumtree. However I could, as soon as I got an email address from a property that I was interested in, I would send them an email and either try and arrange a viewing or briefly explain the services that we provide. So this was all the work that I did without getting paid. Now, if we summarize how I actually succeeded, I was relentless. I didn't let any obstacles stop me. I got told no often. I got rejected over and over again. But still, the next day, I'd get up, I'd be back on the phones by 9 a.m, like a delusional optimist. And to be honest, I became a bit of a pest. I'm pretty sure these estate agents were sick of me, but I didn't let that stop me. In my mind, I was going to make them become my friends, whether they liked it or not. And I think over time, they started to like me because I just kept showing up, and they couldn't get rid of me. So I almost became like a peer to them. I also constantly improved. So every time I get a rejection, I would ask why. I would make notes of why they didn't want to work with me, what the problem was, and then I would adjust and tweak my pitch. I would make improvements. I wouldn't just keep doing the same thing that wasn't working over and over again. I kept making fine, subtle adjustments. Every time I got told no, I would write down the reason why, and then I would think and find a counter argument for that. So rather than just accepting no, I would ask why, and that would give me feedback. And with that feedback, I would then improve my pitch and my offer. So I was willing to constantly improve. I also failed forward. So again, anytime I got a rejection, I didn't let this get me down. There were times where I put offers in and I thought I was going to get the property. I was this close to getting the property, and then the landlord would choose to go with someone else. And I would be on the floor. I would be absolutely gutted. But again, I didn't let that stop me. I made sure that these small failures propelled me forward rather than backwards. The only way you can truly fail is if you give up. So whenever I'd get a setback, I would use it to propel me forward. I'd pick myself up, dust myself down, and go again. I tried to keep my emotions separate to this process, and I kept going. So failing forward was hugely important for me. Throughout this process, I would also practice. So in my spare time, I would practice my pitch. All the phone calls that I made to landlords, to agents, I saw these as practice. I was learning the process. I was doing the reps. And as you know, in anything, the more you practice, the better you get. And I was willing to walk that path and learn as I go. So practice doesn't make perfect, but it certainly makes better. So practice, practice, practice. Practicing was a huge part of where I am today. Doing the reps, making small adjustments, and improving. This is how you become great at something. Always remember that. I was building relationships constantly, whether it be estate agents or landlords. I used to also speak to relocation agents in the area that would be working for companies similar to us, but rather than renting the properties, they would just work on behalf of the companies and try and middleman accommodation. So they would find someone like myself who rents the properties from landlords, and then they would try and broker a price for a group of contractors that are working in the area, and they would sit in the middle and make their drink on top. So I was speaking with agents, landlords, and relocation agents every single day. And these are contacts that I still have today in my network. So I was constantly building relationships. And finally, the main reason I succeeded was because I understood the law of cause and effect. The way cause and effect works is the more you do in terms of practical work towards your goal, for example, estate agent calls, landlord letters, estate agent walk-ins, guaranteed rent boards, and sending emails. The more things like this I did, the more cause I created. As a result of doing these things constantly for a sustained period of time, I would then eventually get the effect, which was my first rent-to-rent deal 6 months into the process. I was aware that I wouldn't get paid for my hard work immediately. I have to do the work in the beginning, and then the result comes later down the line. I knew that if I did this work consistently over and over again, eventually I would get the desired result, which was my first rent-to-rent property. I understood the law of cause and effect, and I understood that I wouldn't get paid for my hard work straight away. It would happen for me later on down the line. I just had to be willing to do the work. So just to summarize, guys, 2017, I discovered rent to rent. By 2018, I incorporated my company. 3 to 4 months into 2018, I got my first rent to rent deal. 2 days after that, I had found tenants and I had made all of my initial investment back. I got to this stage by making around 200 to 300 calls to estate agents, 50 to 70 calls to landlords, by sending 400 landlord letters, by walking into 30 different estate agents, by putting up 10 guaranteed rent boards in my investment area, and by sending 200 emails. I was relentless. I was willing to constantly improve. I failed forward. I practiced over and over again. I built relationships and I understood the law of cause and effect. I was patient. And because of all this, I got to my desired outcome of getting my first rent to rent deal. And this is how it can work for you too. Now, if you want someone to guide you through this process and you feel like you need a mentor to help you along, then in the video description below, there'll be a link to booking a call with myself. On that call, we can see if we're the right fit for each other and I can help guide you on your next steps to moving forward. If you want to watch another video where I break down how to get rent to rent deals from estate agents in detail, then watch this video next. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.